Pausing a print in order to drop in a nut in order to have threads inside of some standoff is wildly irritating, and I really don't like it. So in this video, we're gonna walk through several different ways that do not require you to stop your machine in order to wait for something else to happen. So this is a really big problem. Very often people will attempt to embed hardware inside of 3D printing. And while this is tremendously useful in some situations because 3D printing can do it and no other process can do it, it is very cumbersome and it really slows down mass production. If you're wanting to make 10,000 of this enclosure and you for some reason need a nut embedded in these standoffs, you do not want to have to wait overnight for someone or a machine or anything else to drop a nut in there in order for the rest of the part to be finished. Also, the pause feature is just really dangerous because when you pause, the rest of the part is sitting there cooling so that when you pick the machine back up again, you have the potential for shrink lines or a skip line or anything else going wrong there. So you never really want to stop the machine printing if you can possibly avoid it because it's inefficient and introduces errors. And when you're producing tens of thousands of these, that can be an issue. So let's look at your alternatives. We're going to use just a very simple standoff part here. So the most simple way of not doing that is to use just a hole. You can use a standard hole and that's okay. And for small threaded screws and that kind of stuff, it's generally fine if you're just trying to hold a chip inside of a board. Now, the reason you don't want to use the standard hole is because if you're using larger hardware, like an M10 or something like that, in order for the threads to bite, you need to make the hole a little bit smaller, which means that you can end up having the hole split out. This is also one-time use, which isn't great. Also, if you really need high torque and really high holding force, just relying on plastic on metal threading is not the greatest. Now, one way to deal with the splitting is to just build in relief features. On this hole, we've put a few small little slats around the outer side that allow the threads to bite into those and they can cut fully through and there's some place for the excess material to go. So you can get really good engagement with the threads. It is almost better than a hole because rather than all the threads pushing the hole outwards and then trying to bite in, they are literally just carving into these small little features that are able to dig in. So this creates a much more reliable hole if you're going for just straight up plastic threading. But we're here to talk about embedded hardware, and embedded hardware can be useful. Sure, you can use heat set inserts, but sometimes those aren't viable, and sometimes heat set inserts are not strong enough. Embedding nuts has a piece that is able to hold into the part better because it's in the part, whereas a heat insert only has its adhesion with the outer walls in order to hold it in place. So you can get better performance from embedded hardware. But one of the simplest ways to not have to embed hardware is to just go in from the back. Rather than trying to pause it and drop it in there, just cut a hexagonal slat out the back that holds the nut in there, and then you can run it up the back of the enclosure, and then the nut sits right there at the top, and it's fine. Now, this has some challenges because you can have the nut fall back down. But if you're loading in from the side, or if you have long enough screws or some sort of tooling or jigging in order to place the nut up there when you're doing it, basically if there were holes underneath here, you could set it down on a jig. It holds the 4 nuts up where they belong. You put in the thing, and then you pick it up off the jig and move it down the line, and then it just has some holes in the back, and that's fine. But loading the nut up from the back is a really good way to have the nut inside of there, but not have to have this pause feature. We're going to get to a methodology that is still like a print-in-place nut, but doesn't require the machine to pause. I'm going to go through 2 other ways of doing the embedding a nut here, but it's important again to put an emphasis on why this is important. If you want to mass produce your part, you want it to be as reliable and consistent across processes as you can. If you need special pause commands or special slicing settings or special capabilities, then you're limiting how it can be manufactured. So now you are increasing your cost and you're limiting your options of what organizations you can work with, which can be really difficult. We run a print service called Teleport, which allows anybody to just upload a model and then they get 1,000 machines for their business just on tap. Not to mention files and the ability to ship. They'll plug it into their Shopify store, and when they get an order, we will print it and ship it for them. But if they have to have embedded hardware, now their order can be delayed because again, it could be paused and then it has to wait for the nuts to be dropped in, or it needs a custom workflow, which adds to cost. All of these things are to be avoided because you want to minimize the cost of your parts and you want to make sure they ship out as fast as possible. So eliminating a feature that slows everything down and makes it more expensive is a good thing to do. All right. Moving on to the next feature then. If you're trying to put this M3 nut into there, you can of course go in from the back like I mentioned before, but you can also go in from the side. It is not that hard to put a slot into the side of any one of these pieces and then just slide the nut in there, and now it aligns with where you need it to do, and it has pretty much all the same functionality that you had before. The downside of this is that you have created a stress concentration in the plane of the layers, so if you're dealing with a large amount of pull-out force on there, then this hole can serve as a place where the layer break can start. So if you're doing it with these standoffs and that kind of stuff, it can be difficult. Also, with these standoffs, sometimes you just can't get in from the side. These have lots of clearance, but if you're doing something smaller, you might need the nuts closer together. So putting them in from the side might be a little bit difficult. But ultimately, generally it's very easy. If we were like wall mounting this thing, I could put slots into the side and have holes come out the bottom, and then you just run the nuts into the side, and now you have a wall mounted deal with hardware inside of it that's all perfectly reliable. But okay, you need the nut embedded up at the top, because in the history of manufacturing, you've now created a new geometry that needs something else. But 3D printing has two superpowers. Not only can you embed hardware, but you can create any geometry you want, anywhere you want. So let's use that capability. You want to drop a nut about 2/3 of the way down inside of here. Well, you don't want any exterior holes and you can't come in from the back for whatever reason. Okay, fine. What you can do is, instead of having the nut put in the top and then printing the top half over the top of it, instead allow the nut to drop in. What we've done here is we've created a side slot hole in the top, and then down below there we cut down so there's the upper rim that will hold it and retain it. But then below there we create this larger channel that is about the diameter of the nut itself, so that the nut can spin inside of there, and then you drop the nut in, and then you can go ahead and shake it a little bit and it'll settle down to flat. It settles about 2 millimeters below where the top of the hole is, so that you can still put in a fairly short screw. It'll grab the nut and then it'll suck it up tight against the top there as if it was an embedded nut. You get a little bit less retention on the top because you now have this slot, but the nut is fine, and if you really want to get fancy, you can put in washers and stuff that drop in there on top of it. All of that can be done. But now you have created an enclosed and embedded nut, but you did not need to pause your machinery to do it. You could also build out an entire kit, and now you can sell it off to someone else and they can assemble it themselves, and you're not beholden on the process itself to put this nut where you want it to be. So this can be a much more optimal way of getting embedded hardware into a place, so that you get the benefits of metal threads, and then you still get to take advantage of 3D printing because you were able to create this impossible geometry that embeds the nut to where it looks really clean and really beautiful. But there's a lot of other options and ways of doing it. Pausing to put hardware into your part generally isn't the best. Sometimes things will be bigger and chunkier and you need to, and that's fine, and printing creates that capability. But now you're restricting yourself to your artisan way of making it, so you have to scale up your operation in order to continue to produce it. And if you need 1,000 more 3D printers for your business, go ahead and check out Teleport over at slantpod.com. Have a great day, everybody.